I'm here with new Macalester women's basketball head coach, AD Donovan. And AD, welcome to Macalester.
Hi, thank you.
Want to give our fans a chance to get to know you a little bit better as you just arrived on campus this summer. Give us a bit of your background in coaching and kind of how it led you to Macalester.
Yeah, for sure. I think I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a coach, and a big part of that was having coaches who told me that I was like a coach on the court as a player. And so at a certain age, my physical ability let me down, but my brain was able to think about the game in a different way. So that launched me right into coaching. I started as a high school coach, which is a great place to learn how to coach because you get all levels. And from there, I went to the University of Washington and was fortunate enough to work with that team. And really, I've worked at all levels, but I think as I think about my coaching arc, it's just about education and investing in young people and being there for them and being excited for all of their successes and being there to support them when we come up a little bit short. And so, my background as an educator has really prepared me for a place like Macalester. And so I've coached all levels, JUCO, Division II, Division I, and now it's a new level and a new type of student athlete here at Macalester.
Yes, you mentioned all different divisions that you coached at. You're most recently at Division II, Alaska Fairbanks. You started, I guess, your college basketball career. You were a player at Penn. Talk about how or what attracted you, kind of keeping your background in mind, what attracted you to the position here at Macalester?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep it concise because there's so many things. I think my background as a player at Penn really informed my love of Division III athletics. A non-scholarship model, I think, presents an opportunity to have a really pure form of amateur athletics where you can still have a really well-balanced student experience. At Penn, I was a two-sport athlete. There aren't many people who get to do that at the Division I level. Had I been on scholarship, it's likely my basketball coaches would have said, oh no, you're not gonna go and throw the discus in the spring. So I think an opportunity to have an experience like what I had, which was so formative, combining it with a very similarly high academic model was just so attractive to me. And to be honest, looking at a beautiful city like St. Paul and the types of things that you can get involved with and the things on and off campus, those opportunities compared to living in Alaska were really, really attractive as well. And then lastly, I think just the type of student athletes that I'd get an opportunity to work with. They're high performing in every facet of their life, and I have some experience of the heights of that and the drawbacks of that as my own playing career. And so I'm just really, really excited to kind of get back to my roots in that way at an institution as prestigious as Mac.
From a coaching perspective, when everything's going well, when your teams are playing well and you're having success, what does that look like on the court? I guess kind of what is your style that you'd like to coach, and what does that look like when you're winning?
Yeah, I think the words that come to mind that when everything is going really well are fast. A lot of coaches talk about playing fast. But I'm very excited with the roster that we have that we're going to be able to do that. So playing quickly in transition, taking a lot of layups and threes. I'm not a person who's against the mid-range game, but the analytics and the math is right, that those are those high-yield shots. So, those were things I spoke with the team about us doing. Taking and making threes. It's fun when you go on a run and make 3 in a row. So when you're talking about those successful moments, it's that we hit 3 straight threes in transition and the other team called a timeout and our bench is running out to meet the players as they're coming in. And it makes it really simple to coach, where you just tell them, hey, keep it up, keep defending hard to turn them over, get rebounds, and then find the fastest open shot that we can.
With basketball in mind, but also the demands and also kind of the academic nature of Macalester, what type of student athletes do you see being successful here at Macalester, both in basketball and in school?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I think that balance at the end of the question is so important because there are transferable skills that'll be both on and off the court. And so I think for me, when I think of a MAC athlete and a successful one, I think there's a grit, there's a willingness to do the hard things, whether or not you have a result immediately. So that kind of grit and resilience is big. I'd also say someone who is joyful, someone who is willing to celebrate when things go well, who is, and sometimes you have to teach that, because I don't know, I was an athlete who I was just relieved. If I did it right, I was just relieved. And so athletes that have done well in my systems are ones who are willing and vulnerable enough to be joyful and to be fully invested. And then I think one thing that attracted me to MAC, that I've been on campus for about 4 weeks, and I've already met a bunch of people who have reinforced it, is a genuine curiosity. And I think that gets tied into a growth mindset a lot, that I've already had athletes coming in to the office after camp and saying, hey coach, I want to pick your brain about this. Or hey coach, did you see the Lynx game last night? Did you see when, when Nafisa Collier did this, right? They're curious and they're excited and they're joyful and they want to put the work in. Those are the athletes that I think will really shine here.
Great. I know that you've had an opportunity to watch some film from last year, and I think also meet some of the players in person, but I think in general the whole team virtually, if not in person. What are your initial impressions of the program?
Yeah, I firstly just think that they have such a strong core and such a strong culture that they worked hard to build as a program. And so that was the first thing that really stood out even in the interview process. From there, it's the first meeting they were a little quiet, but after that, once I was hired, they've got a lot of personality, and they are talkative and engaging in a way similar to what I was talking about with that curiosity. And from a basketball perspective, I think when I watched the film, the thing that stood out were a lot of the intangibles, that they're the first to the floor, they're diving on the ball, they're taking charges, they are, when someone falls down, they've got 3 teammates running over to pick them up. And so I think that speaks to the grit and the culture and the family that they've built, which honestly, from there, we can talk about basketball, and basketball seems simple in comparison. This is a group that loves to compete. They love to be together. They're going to enjoy their time. And so from a basketball perspective, it's just really, really exciting to have a group that I can tell already is going to want the work, and they're going to ask for more, and they're going to give everything they have to this program and to their teammates. And I think that that's a spot where a lot of magic can happen.
That's great. Thanks so much for your time. We're all looking forward to seeing your teams compete and what you're going to be able to bring to the program. We're all very excited to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, thank you.
That's new Macalester women's basketball coach, A.D. Donovan.